Hello, it's Bart from NatureManufacture. This time I would like to show our lava and volcano environment set, which is designed for Unreal Engine 5. First of all, after you import the pack, you will have a frozen or hot lava rivers, which are using our splines, or they could also use landscape splines, like at our demo scene. It depends if you have a landscape on your map or not. You have lava rocks with different type of lava, right? Uh, Ground textures, decals, particles, and some meshes that will help you level design. And this is what you have without any plugins, because we also give support from our lava materials to Unreal Engine simulation, so water system. And if you want to use simulations and meshes from simulation, water engine simulation, then you have to turn on some plugins. If not, you could use this pack as it is, and you could use it with Nanite or without. So yeah, let's do everything step by step. I will help you to set up this pack for multiple type of projects. So Nanite, without Nanite, with simulation or without. Okay, so step by step. First of all, you will notice that there is no demo scene in the maps folder. It's because this map, which we present on the video, using Unreal Engine water plugins. So if you want to have this map on the list, you will have to go to the plugins panel, type water, and first of all, turn on water experimental. Yes, turn on water extras and turn on water advanced. Basically, without extras and water advanced, you will not be able to use simulation tools, but you will be able to use lava rivers as a water, right? So you just make a river or lake by Unreal Engine water tool without simulation, and you could replace our material and it will work without simulation. But if you want to use a simulation, so the shallow water system, you have to turn on water extras and water advance. So this will force us to restart the engine. Let's do it. After restart, you will see that our volcano map appear in the maps folder. And now we could go into this map and check what is inside. If you don't want to use Unreal Water Simulation, but you want to use our map, then just turn on these plugins just for a moment. Remove all shallow water objects, and water body rivers if you don't want to using water plugin at all. And after you will save this map, probably water zone have to be removed too. After we'll save this map and turn off the plugins, the map will be visible, because that these few objects that are related to Unreal Engine water system block this map to show up right in the maps folder. So after you do this, we are ready to visit the demo scene. Let it compile the shaders for us. Let's increase the speed of the camera. And what we have here, first of all, we have two shallow water river simulations and few landscape splines for the lava rivers. They are totally different type of materials, because the landscape and blueprints splines use our materials which are designed for the blueprints and landscape, and you will find them in Lava River blueprint landscape splines, right? Or blueprint spline materials. But if you are looking for materials for the shallow water simulation, you will find them in lava simulation materials. But I will explain how to play with this step by step. So now we see that we have a map, but we could expand some features, because the whole pack support landscape blending with the meshes, and some features that comes from the landscape virtual texture. For example, virtual texture could heat or decrease heating of the lava river when it touched the landscape. So let's maybe turn on virtual texture for your project, so we will get all features inside. Okay, so to turn on virtual textures, you go to the project settings, you type virtual texture support, and you enable it. And you will have to restart engine after that. So I already checked this option for you. Do not restart the engine now. So how to turn on this feature? So if you will go to materials that are in the pack, for example, lava rocks, you will find the materials, and there is a, let's maybe do this on this mesh exactly. So let's find the material which is related to this object, and let's open it, and you will find in every material that we made, so the lava rivers or the rocks, you will find RVT terrain blend. And if you will turn this on, you will see that you turn on the blending with the landscape. So you will have to do this for every material that you want to blend with the landscape. Okay. Next thing is that these materials, the lava materials on the landscape splines, also support these features, but not only the blending. So let's maybe go to the landscape. Let's find this, for example, this material, and with landscape mode. In the landscape mode, you will move to manage splines. Let's maybe check this, and here in spline meshes, you are able to replace the mesh or the material. Let's find this material. Oh, sorry, not this one, not this button. Let's find this material. Here we have it. Okay, and we also could turn off blend for it, turn on blend for it. So you will see that there is smooth edge between the landscape spline, right? And the landscape. It also could have another feature, because every lava river material have a use RVT heat. What it basically do? In every material, you will find a lava emission, and there is a option that to use the border heat. So basically it could decrease heating for the area where, so decrease emission for the area where the spline object or any mesh touch the landscape, or it could increase. For example, if you have a frozen lava, you will probably decrease the emission, but and for example, increase emission in the middle of the spline, right? You could see. But for the lava that flow, you will have an opposite situation. So you will increase the border, the emission on the border, right? On the border of the spline, and decrease in the middle. Let's maybe go to the other spline object. So maybe this material from this flowing lava will probably give you a better view over this feature. So in the emission, first of all, in RVT terrain heat, we turn this on. So we use landscape virtual texture, the height information, right? You see that. And if we go to the emission layer, we could turn off the border heat or turn on, right? And we could add some emission just on the borders of our lava. So it will look much more natural. Okay, so to show you full possibilities, I will give you some tips about the landscape spline and blueprint splines. If you want to create on lava river, you go to the landscape and you just create a spline with control. Of course, you could change the width of the spline in any place, in points. But if you want to create the lava river, you have to go to you click on one segment, click select all segments. Okay. And in landscape, in lava river, there are landscape spline materials and meshes. Let's maybe first of all, let's add landscape spline mesh, and we have few versions of the mesh. For example, let's maybe use this one. Let it, and this mesh is flat, right? It doesn't have any curvature. There is a variant with curvature, right? And with soft curvature. It depends on you which you will use. Let's maybe use this one. And now you could add overrides to the materials. So you go to the landscape spline materials and you could replace this material to any material you want. Let's maybe change it to this one, or you could change it to frozen one. It's up to you. Okay, so that's how the landscape spline works. With control, you add more points. That's fine. If you want to remove this, you just select all points and click delete. Yes. How about the blueprint? Blueprints also have similar. You just drag and drop blueprint. Let's maybe turn off the landscape section now. Yep. Let's move the point a bit. And what we have here, in the blueprint, we simply drag and drop mesh. Let's maybe place this one. And you could expand it. With Alt, you just add another point. I mean, with Alt and moving the arrow, you just add another point. And you could simply resize mesh. What else? You could also change tiling between points. So just you could mesh, expand mesh size multiply 5, for example. But yeah, you have the spline must be a bit longer just to add more tiles. Yeah. So the idea is that landscape splines should be used with landscape scenes. The blueprint splines should be used with if you don't have any landscape. Basically, you could use our meshes and materials at any spline that you have in your project. If you don't want to use ours, doesn't matter. Okay. So that's all about the spline blueprints and landscape splines. Like you see, you could disconnect rivers with landscape splines. We also at our demo scene do this with frozen river. But this is not transparent object, a transparent material, so there will be more visible intersection between these two splines, but it's easy to hide. Okay, that's all about this part of the asset. Now let's play with Unreal Water System. First of all, let's add a water body. So let's type water river body, and we get a Unreal Water body. It's still with water, but we will simply replace the material. Okay, so first of all, this is lava. So I think it shouldn't carve the terrain. So let's maybe turn off the affect landscape option, and let's move these points closer to the landscape. Okay, and if you will going to use lakes or Unreal Water bodies without shallow water and simulation, you simply go to lava simulation materials, and you have 3 materials lava river, which you simply replace on the material setup. So let's maybe replace it, and now you have a lava which follows only the spline, but in most cases it could be enough. Okay, but the same with lake, exactly the same situation. You have a connection setup here, everything. Yeah, here you have a connections. You just fill it with lava, and it will automatically check the proper checkboxes and render lava rivers or lakes, the same as Unreal Water System. But if you want to use simulation tools, then okay, let's maybe change the name of the river body, so it will be easy for us to find it. And if you want to use simulations, you have to add another component which is called shallow water river. And in this component, we have to choose our river body. So that's why we rename the water body. And let's choose the water body. And what happened? Now we have a water body again. It's because shallow water doesn't take material from the material setup. It takes material from Niagara River simulation. And this is default Niagara River simulation object. And we have to replace it with our. We prepare this in system. You could, for example, choose Lava River. This one. And after you will click reset, you will get new material. And you could bake it and then change to baked sim until you will not bake it, it will be empty, right? You could, for example, click bake, and now it will work. What else? First of all, you have to reduce the speed of the simulation because lava is much slower than water. Okay. The second thing is that there is an option, match spline, and basically until it's checked on, the simulation will follow the spline. So it will not based only on the collision with splines or objects, but it will try to follow the spline. So if we turn off this option, of course it could be useful for some reasons, but I think let's maybe turn this off now. Let's turn this match spline option. Now lava river will only follow the collision. It have advantages and disadvantages. First of all, you may notice that it still sometimes follow a bit the points, but not like it was before. The lava moves outside the spline at all, but look at the one thing. Between points, shallow water generates boundaries, and you may notice that when this point ends here, the lava simulation also ends here. So if you want to, make simulation on bigger area, you have to add some points. By holding Alt and moving points, you add another point. So let's maybe add this, add few points like that. And now our simulation will end somewhere here. Of course, the points should be near the landscape just to avoid such situations. And now let's click reset again. If you want to make some more complex situations like we made on our demo scene, for example, I made a trick. This shallow water is based on four splines. I put four splines in different direction, and I add the splines to water bodies, and now it behaves like a real volcano. I mean, there's a point where the lava starts flowing from, and the area which it starts to cover. Of course, you could increase the resolution for just to get better results. Let's click reset. But it also costs more performance. The best option basically is to generate, if you want to use baked simulation, then best option is to generate the simulation on high resolution, then click bake, and you could reset up resolution as you want, right? Just as an example, let's maybe change it to bake again. You see that lava nicely flow on the volcano surface. So let's change it to bake, and you may notice that there is a grid of triangles, and even if it's if you change the resolution, it will do not restart the simulation. Let's change the resolution. You see, just change the triangles. nothing else. Of course, if the resolution will be too low, you will get some problems. Okay, so this is the simulation. I will also show you how to prepare own Niagara materials for the simulations. Not so you will be able to use not only our materials, but you will be able to expand our asset. What else to say about the simulation? The simulation could have an interaction with the 3D models. Let's maybe do this. First of all, we place maybe a cliff object. Let's expand it. And what we have to do? We have to tag our object. Let's tag it. Component here, not the component tags, just tags. Let's call it lava. Okay. And let's copy this. And in our lava object, if we also type tag, there is a bottom contour tags, and let's add lava. And now our simulation will have an interaction with objects that have a tag lava. In the same config, we made all these nice interactions, right? So the lava flow between 3D models. Okay, so that's about the collision. If you want to make a surface that flow on lava surface, then you have to add plugin called buoyancy. And follow video tutorials on YouTube or somewhere else about how to prepare object. I mean, the core idea of this lava is that it's basically Unreal water system one-to-one, but we replace the material and make we change the water material into lava, and we use water simulation features just to generate nice looking surfaces. So yeah, that's all about the shallow water object. Of course, you could play with the setup a bit, the speed, the resolution, so on. Remember that these objects are pretty heavy for the engine. I mean, if you use live simulation, it's pretty heavy. For lower resolution, it will work nicely. For super high resolution, you will probably get FPS drop. But if you use baked simulation, like we use here, you will get nice frame rates anyway. Okay, so let's maybe talk about the materials with this simulation. How about when you want to create own lava material and you want to replace it in simulation? Like I said, shallow water system works and depends on the Niagara system. So you have to make few steps. First of all, you have to duplicate one of our material instances. And let's maybe make changes. So we will see that something changed when we replace it. Let's make super emissive on the border. Okay. So we made a new material. You could set up it as you want. Then we have to replace Niagara material. I mean, the first we have to duplicate it, and we have to change reference from the old material to new material. So let's use it. And now we have to duplicate simulation, Niagara simulation system. So let's maybe create new one. Let's duplicate it. And in Niagara system, we have to replace reference to Niagara material. Let's find material. And there are two places that we have to change. Here's the first place. We have to change it to new Niagara material. Right. And the second place is at the end of the Niagara here, and we have to do this as well. Okay, so we made new simulation with new material. What is important? If you will use 5.7 when it will be released, and we upload back for that engine version because it's ready, but it's not available on the shop now. There will be two Niagara materials which will be separated. I mean, you will have to duplicate two materials. One is for cache and the second is for live sim. And basically, you will just the difference will be that you duplicate two materials in Niagara, but they will be still referenced to one material, our shader. And in Niagara system, you will have to place cached and live sim materials separately. That's the old difference in the 5.7. Seems Unreal Engine still play with this system a lot. Okay, so now if we will go to the shallow water and we will replace the Niagara system to other Niagara system, you see that we have a change, right? Our new material with new changes just appear. And now, without the restarting of the simulation, you could modify this. For example, you could change the speed of the material. Let's maybe change it so it will move slower. Or you could increase the refreshing speed at the flow map. This will remove this kind of situations. Increasing refreshing speed. Yeah, but it will start to become look odd. But yeah, these two options are basically referencing to the behavior of the lava on the different angles and speeds, right? And let's maybe go to the other material, so you will see the biggest difference. Yeah, that's the good place, and that's the good material to show you the basic options of the lava speed at the Unreal live scene. So if you will change the bracket angle data to 1, you will see that it looks much sharper. Okay, it stopped ignoring many angles, but it also start to look more repetitive. You see, maybe the best place is here to see. Okay, that's the best place. You see that with lower value, it's less repetitive, but it starts to become stretched. So you have to set up this. I mean, you have to play a bit with this value and check what is best for you. The second option is the magnitude delta. So if we will reduce it, you will get more stretched lava on the angles, on the borders, but and it will be more fluid, but you will get stretched render, right? So the borders or the fast places like this will become stretched, but lava will be more responsive. If you will increase this value, these errors are gone, but the render start to ignore some data. So basically you have to play with this value as well for yourself. Okay, let's maybe bring these values to default. Really, to be honest, these two values are it's best to set up them for the just specific cases. Okay, so that's all about the simulation. Basically, like I said, this system works one-to-one as Unreal Engine water system, but the main difference is that we replace the material. So from transparent object, the water transparent object, you have a lava material, emissive material. Yeah. So let's now go to the Nanite and landscape. So I will show you the full possibilities of the pack. Okay, let's talk about the Nanite. You may see that all our materials support Nanite. Just to turn this on or off, you just visit every mesh and change the Nanite checkbox and click apply, and the material will automatically change from offset to Nanite or Nanite to offset. So, and this feature is supported on every our mesh. So the landscape spline or our blueprints, they all support Nanite rendering. So you have many nice details on them. Also the flowing lava support Nanite. I think it looks the best. All these ground materials, everything was prepared also for Nanite. All these meshes too. You are able to use Nanite also at the landscape because we prepared landscape material that support Nanite as well. So if you will go to the landscape and type Nanite, you could enable or disable this feature on the landscape. If you will enable it, you have to build data. Okay, so that's about the Nanite on the landscape. Let's maybe move a bit to the lava river. Like I said, landscape splines also support Nanite. Yeah. So now let's maybe talk about the landscape itself, because landscape material is pretty cool. You have of course, nice high blending on the landscape, but there are also some cool features like emission. So yeah, let's talk about the landscape. Okay, so first of all, landscape support emission. Basically, the landscape material have 8 layers. And if you have a landscape object, it have 8 layers. But there is an option, use emission layer 9. Let's maybe go to the place where I use it. Probably here. There is an option that you could add extra layer to your landscape. It will be layer number 9, and this layer couldn't be weight blended. Look, the difference. Couldn't be weight blending because it shouldn't remove any other data. It's just another layer, number 9, which basically is used like a mask for emission, because every of these materials have an emission setup, and if you want to use emission on it or not at all. For example, at snow you will probably don't want to use emission. And every layer have a setup for emission, but the emission will appear only when you will paint the landscape with layer number 9. So let's maybe turn off this and see the difference. Let engine recompile landscape material for us, and you see that the emission disappear. If I will enable it again, emission appear, and I could find this emission on the landscape. Let's maybe increase the brush and see what will happen if I will paint it here. You see, maybe let's find a place where there are more rocks, because I turn off the emission. I mean, I reduce the emission for the sun, but I increase it for the rocks. Let's maybe find a rocky area. Oh, this area would be cool. And you see that I could find the emission. And this emission is between all layers. As you use the 9, the last layer as a emission mask, you could just find the emissive area, and this emissive area will be used for all layers. Like I said, you could, let's maybe go to the material, you could reset up the emission per layer, and let's maybe find a nice layer for that. Is that this one? Yeah, this is this one. So we will play with this area, and you could see that I could, first of all, I could decrease emission, or I could use power just to get emission in the holes, right? And this emission use alpha layer from the textures. Of course, you don't have to use emission. You could turn off this, and you will get more frame rates. But as I saw, it doesn't take a lot. So yeah, that's the emission feature on the landscape. So you just add 8 layers, and the last layer will be non-white blended layer, and it will during painting it will do not remove the other layers from this area, just paint a texture that will be used for emission. This is how we handle this situation, just to get a nice emission which is shared between layers on the landscape. Okay, so that's about the landscape material. It's 8 layer, it's high blended, so you, and Nanite supports you get, let's maybe slow down the camera, so you could get very nice results. Where's our camera? So you could get very nice results with Nanite and our textures which were prepared for the landscape. Yeah. So yeah, that's all about that. If you have any questions, you could write to our support email or on Discord, and I will be happy to answer and help you with your issues or just existential questions. Yeah, bye.